The power of forgiveness, letting go and letting God. Most of us have experienced both ends of forgiveness, the forgiving and the being forgiven. We might sometimes hover in the in-between of forgiving and choosing to hold on to the hurt. Sometimes the pain that is at first our enemy can become our friend, and letting go might leave us feeling like we have lost something important. The power of forgiveness can bring freedom and life to the forgiver and the forgiven. Somehow that pain has become a familiar face that keeps us from going to sleep and greets us with the morning light, a friend and an enemy at the same time. And even though we know that it is causing us harm, letting go can be very hard. Maybe we feel that what someone has done to hurt us does not deserve to be forgiven, so we continue to punish ourselves with the pain of holding on to bitterness. Like somehow our pain will be noticed, and the person who has hurt us will hurt too. Maybe they will even ask us to forgive them and set everything right. In the long run, this does not punish the offender. The damage done is only to ourselves. It hurts our health, our relationships, our motivation, and pretty much puts a damper on everything we used to love. Forgiving does not mean giving that person the power to hurt us over and over again. In a healthy relationship, grace can be given and the relationship can thrive. Sometimes, though, forgiving someone means letting go because they might hurt you over and over again. If you are in this type of relationship, please ask for help. Ask someone you love and trust to help you find the people who can help you. What is forgiveness and why is it important? Forgiveness is a healing balm. It is something that we crave because it restores our relationships, our self-worth, and allows us to feel joy and purpose. It gives our lives meaning once again. It lifts the weight of guilt. It allows us to take a deep breath once again. When we have done something wrong, something to hurt another person or something that is against what we know is right, it weighs heavily on our conscience. It can keep us up at night and cause us to feel depressed, anxious, and worthless. It can kill our motivation and zest for life. Sometimes it can cause us to lose our relationships, our jobs, our happiness, and even our freedom. When we have been wronged by someone else and can't forgive them, we can lose our health, our contentment, our purpose, and even our lives as we know them. It is important to forgive, not so much for the other person, but for ourselves. How do you forgive someone who has hurt you? You have to make the choice to forgive. Forgiveness is up to you. The thing is, most of us don't have the ability to forgive on our own power. We are human. Forgiveness requires help from the divine. Many people turn to self for that power. Go inward. Find the light inside of you. Focus on this moment. There is a problem with that scenario. The human spirit is trying to become divine. We long for the divine. We were created with longing for the divine. How to find the power to forgive? However, there is only one true and living divine power, and that is God. The one true God who sent His only Son, Jesus Christ, to die in our place so that we can have a relationship with God. He did this in order to pay the price for our sins, for the things we have done wrong. Jesus died, rose from the grave, and now lives so that we can also live forever. God offers us the absolutely free gift of forgiveness when we believe that Jesus is God's Son, that He died for our sins, that He rose from the dead, and ask Him to forgive us and become the boss of our lives. How do you forgive someone who will never ask for care? You can only forgive as you have received forgiveness. Perhaps you are in the process figuring out how you forgive someone who will never ask for care. Most of us have walked in your shoes. We have given someone too much power in our lives. That person has done something to hurt us and never owns up to it, never asks for forgiveness. I have been there. I allowed someone too much power, and it was to my detriment. Because I had given him so much power in my life, I allowed his untrue words to take hold. They began to drown out what I knew to be true about myself, and depression set in. Self-doubt set in. My joy was dampened. I was hurt and angry. I am human, and my humanity took over. I did not want anything bad for him. I just wanted my life back. The life I had before the conversation. I call it a conversation, but it was really him yelling at me. Nothing he said was true, not one word. But those words held damaging power. I realized that I was allowing his words, his opinion, his breakdown, whatever it was, to define my past and my future. I knew that the only way for me to break the hold He had on my life was to forgive Him, once and for all. I had to stop replaying those words and break the cycle. I asked God to take this burden and to help me say the words. I forgave Him with God's help. I forgave Him because God has forgiven me. When I asked Jesus to forgive me, God forgot my sins, past, present, and future. It is now my goal to show Him how much I love Him by doing what is right and good. It is only by His grace and mercy that my life is filled with joy and the weight of hurt and guilt has been lifted. The power of forgiveness. When we forgive someone, regardless of how difficult it may be, we open ourselves up to a new level of understanding and growth that can truly be life-changing. While it's never an easy thing to do, it can be a powerful and rewarding experience for both the person giving the forgiveness and the person receiving it. Letting go of grudges. One of the most important things to understand about forgiveness is that it's not about forgetting the hurtful things that have been done, but rather about letting go of the grudge. Holding on to a grudge can be emotionally draining, and in most cases, it only serves to keep the pain from the past alive in the present. It's therefore important to realize that forgiving someone does not mean excusing their behavior, but rather freeing yourself from the negative energy associated with the situation. The role of faith. For some, faith may play an important role in the process of forgiveness. Those who subscribe to a faith-based approach may look to a higher power, such as God, to help guide them in their journey of letting go and starting anew. Regardless of faith or belief system, it's important to remember that forgiveness is not something that can easily be accomplished on one's own, and that having access to spiritual guidance can be a great help along the way. Navigating difficult emotions. It's completely normal to experience a range of difficult emotions when it comes to forgiveness. Anger, sadness, fear, and guilt are all common feelings that may arise during this process. But it's important to recognize that it takes time to work through these emotions, and that it's okay to take breaks and to step away from the situation if needed. Additionally, it can be helpful to reach out to friends and family for support, as well as to seek professional help if necessary. Forgiveness can be a difficult journey, but it's also a powerful one that can bring about healing and transformation. It's important to remember the importance of letting go of grudges and to realize that access to faith-based guidance can be a great help. It's also essential to be mindful of the difficult emotions that may arise and to seek out help if needed. With patience, perseverance, and self-compassion, forgiveness can be a rewarding and life-changing experience.